Kenneth Agyei Kuranchie. He's managing editor of the Daily Searchlight and a lawyer. Ken, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, my brother.
You are invoking the powers of the Supreme Court, asking it to deal with Article 68 of the Constitution, correct?
Among other things, yes.
Good. So I just want to read the 68 in full because I notice you are referring to all the clauses in 68. I just want to read it for our listeners to understand what the Article 68 says, and then I'll ask you why you are invoking the powers of the Supreme Court. So,
yes, please.
Article 68(1) says the president shall not, while continues in office as president, hold any other office or profit or emolument, whether private or public, and whether directly or indirectly, or hold the office of chancellor or head of any university in Ghana. The president shall not, on leaving office as president, hold any office of profit or emolument, except with the permission of Parliament, in any establishment, either directly or indirectly, other than that of the state. The president shall receive such salary, allowances, and facilities as may be prescribed by Parliament on the recommendations of the committee referred to in Article 71 of this Constitution. On leaving office, the president shall receive a gratuity in addition to pension equivalent to his salary and other allowances and facilities prescribed by Parliament in accordance with Clause 3 of this article. The salary, allowances, facilities, pensions, and gratuity referred to in Clauses 3, 4 shall be exempt from tax. Where the president is removed from office under paragraph C of Clause 1 of Article 69 of this Constitution or resigns, he shall be entitled to such pension and other retiring awards and facilities as Parliament may prescribe on the recommendation of the committee referred to in Article 71 of this Constitution. The salary and allowances payable to the president and the pension or gratuity payable to him on leaving office shall be charged on the consolidated fund. The salary, allowances, facilities, and privileges of the president shall not be varied to his disadvantage while he holds office. The pension payable to the president and the facilities available in him shall not be varied to his disadvantage during his lifetime. So that's the entirety of Article 68. Based on this, you are saying that you do not think former President John Mahama is qualified to be on the ballot. Why?
Okay, it is not based on the whole. I'm seeking about 8 declarations. So some of the declarations are picked out of, rightly as you said, out of Article 68, are based on Article 68. For instance, if you look at Article 68(2), which says that the president shall not, on leaving office as president, hold any office of profit or emolument, except with the permission of Parliament, in any establishment, either directly or indirectly, other than that of the state. I'm saying that based on this Article 68(2), our former presidents become wards of Parliament. If I say wards of Parliament, they come under the authority of Parliament. If they want to occupy any office of profit or emolument, that is an office that is not an office of the state, then they do require parliamentary permission. I'm saying that again, that based on this clause, former President Mahama, in his current aspirations, need to go to Parliament to seek parliamentary approval. If you look at the 68(3), I'm saying that the Supreme Court of Ghana should agree with me that if you become a president of Ghana, you do take a salary, you do take emolument, so that under 68(2), if the former president is going to seek for that office, then he does require parliamentary permission. From 4 to I think about 9, I'm saying that if you put the entirety of those provisions together, the Supreme Court should agree with me that Mr. Mahama is somebody who continues to be and continues to remain in the employ of the state. And therefore, I'm begging the Supreme Court to agree with me, because everything he's paid a monthly salary, he's been given a pension, he's been given gratuities, everything. Okay, so if you come and add the 68(2), he's somebody who continues to work for the state of Ghana, and that's required permission before we can go ahead to say that he's seeking under office of profit or emolument.
Okay, but how do you marry that against the article of the Constitution that says a person is entitled to 2 terms in office as president?
Okay, so this petition I've said for the Supreme Court also encapsulates other provisions of the Constitution, and as you rightly said, encapsulate 66.1 and 66.2 of the 1992 Constitution. Under 66.1, I'm asking the Supreme Court to agree with me that the real presidential term in Ghana is 4 years. It's not 8 years as a lot of people believe. When you become president, it's 4 years. The further argument I'm making under 61, 66.1 and 66.2 is that second term that's exempted under 66.2 is contiguous to the first term under 66.1. So that if somebody becomes president and then leaves office under 66.1, that person then automatically falls under 68.2. What Mr. Mahama is doing is what I would describe as disparate. It means that he's been president before, he's gone out of office, he believes that he is deserving of a second term. I'm saying that once you go out of office, you fall under 66.2, 68.2. You see, if you are not falling out of office, you are not gone out of office, then the second term applies. But once he's gone out of office, then 68.2 is quite explicit.
All right. So you're asking the Supreme Court to make a pronouncement. And let me say that, so what we are just doing is just to have an understanding. And we are learning from you why you are in the court and what exactly you're asking the court to do for you. Ken Kwabena is a man who originated this particular discussion. He's the one who has gone to the Supreme Court. He's still on the line. Ken, you've heard the former deputy AG there. He says that, in fact, your writ is not even properly drafted, and he would advise you, if you would listen, to simply just withdraw it. He thinks it's a confusion in your head.
I think they would love me to withdraw it. First and foremost, it is right, okay, that the drafters of the 1992 Constitution did not provide for every single word and every single contingent. It is right. That is why we go for interpretation. For instance, when he said that if Mahama becomes president again, the current benefits that he'll be receiving shall be stopped, and then he will go on to the new benefit. Where is it written in the 1992 Constitution? Okay, so the premise of the 1992 Constitution are not in the position to provide, we're not in the position, and in fact, would never have been in the position to provide for every single contingency. That is why we have the Supreme Court there to do the necessary interpretations, the necessary construction, and the necessary enforcement if it becomes necessary. Now, he was also lampooning me about the fact that my reading of this is talking about the consecutive contiguous instead of it being disparate. The point I'm making, and I think he failed to address it, if someone becomes an ex-president, is it true or not that the person falls under Article 68.2? If you read the wording of Article 68.2, and then let me read it for you again for the sake of emphasis. It says that the president shall not, on leaving office as president, hold any office of profit or emolument, except with the permission of Parliament, in any establishment, either directly or indirectly, other than that of the state. He has been teaching law for 28 years, and says he has not heard the word used in reference to a former president before. What does this provision make the former president?
He says that a flag bearer of a political party is not office of profits.
So, are you going to listen to him?
No, I'm just.
What was his name?
Dr. Dominic Agyei.
Are you going to say that Dr. Dominic Agyei said so? So that is the situation as it is, or we are going to allow the people's representatives to find out?
You hold a view that being a flag bearer is office of profit.
I don't hold any view. I'm saying that he's seeking for a position, and mind you, the position of flag bearer is not an end in itself. It's a tool to arrive at a certain position. That position definitely raises profit, raises emolument, raises the issue of emolument, it raises the issue of salary. So that one is even conclusive. I'm saying that once he takes that step, heading towards that salary, he does require permission from Parliament. So if the NDC comes and tells us, or Mr. Mahama comes and tells us, look, I'm flag bearer, I'm not paid anything, how would we find out unless the people's representatives look into it? How can we establish the truth of his proposition?
So why didn't you write to the House of Parliament asking the House to act on what you thought was an inaction?
I thought you had a copy of my affidavit, and in fact, lawyer Edisi Tamaklo, who also speaks in the same language is my senior just spoke in. Lampoon me when I petitioned Parliament. If you were to read that video, you would realize that I petitioned Parliament on this matter on the 11th of April this year, and Parliament failed to take action. So, as you are rightfully saying, there are bodies there, so they are supposed to take constitutional action. We make a complaint before them; those bodies fail to do what they have to do, and then we go to the Supreme Court.
So you've gone to the Supreme Court because you didn't get a response from Parliament. I think that's
rightfully, okay. Yes.
All right.
Rightfully, yes.
Finally, you are a journalist. I mean, you've been doing this job for decades, but you are also a member of the New Patriotic Party. You've tried at least once to be member of Parliament on the ticket of the NPP. You were not successful. What would you say to political critics who would say you are simply being used by your party to ensure that Mahama doesn't even appear on the ballot because he may defeat your candidate? So you are trying to get him diselected through another means than the ballot paper.
Umaru, a very deadly disease in this country. Deadly disease that we need to look at in this country is where people who have been professionally trained to become accountants and lawyers and medical people and what have you begin to look through their political partisan lenses when a professional decision is supposed to be taken. So that if a matter has to be taken to court, a matter has to be educated on, instead of the person looking at the proper legal position that has to be taken, the person hides behind politics, looks through his political lens and says that this will not be politically convenient and therefore I'm not going to do this, that and that. There are people in the New Patriotic Party who are deeply opposed to this matter going to court, because they believe that if it goes to court and Mr. Mahama the Supreme Court were to disagree with me as it were, Mr. Mahama will become popular and therefore can stand on that popularity. If I were to take that political decision, then I will not be looking at things legally. I believe that once under 66-1, he has served his first term and has become an ex-president. And interestingly, I've had debates with the best of the lawyers in NDC. They are unable to shake on this point that once the man becomes an ex-president, he falls under Article 62. That is indisputable. He will say that the position of flag bearer does not pay any salary. How would Umaru Sanda know?
So you want the pronouncement made once and for all to clarify?
You see, the thing is that for me, as far as I'm concerned, and the Supreme Court, I'm sure if they disagree with me in time, as far as I'm concerned, Article 68(2) is quite explicit. It says, a president shall not, on leaving office as president, hold any office of profit or emolument, except with the permission of Parliament, in any establishment, either directly or indirectly, other than that of the state. And I say that because of this, Mr. Mahama is the word of Parliament, and people are breaking heads over this.
Very well.
If he's not the word of Parliament, then what is?
Have you had the service done to them? As in, have they been served already? I noticed that you also, in the suit, you've added former President John Agyei Kuranchie. Are you worried that he may also come and seek flag bearership of the NPP and by extension?
No. I'm in a situation, if you look at the orders I'm seeking from the Supreme Court, in this situation, I'm saying that he also falls under the authority of Parliament, and that particular provision should be invoked with regard to him. So that we are looking at a democracy that possibly may last 1,000 years. We shall be having dozens of these former presidents. Are we going to allow them to be roaming the land in as is, or we are going to activate Article 68 of the 1990?
Have they been served though? The Attorney General, the former president.
It was the rate was filed yesterday. I'm hoping that is an administrative thing.
Okay,
that will be done in the rate. So at the appropriate time, you make the necessary searches to find out.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you, Madam.